What's up, everybody? You know what it is. It's the MasterChef After Show. We are covering episodes 11 and 12. The kids are judging, food is frying, and people are going home. You know what it is. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's hard to finger gun to this, you guys.
It's too complicated of a beat. Where's our lights, Steven? Come on.
Frank and Robin.
Come on. Where's our lights?
Oh, we do need lights.
Yeah. It's always the one at the bottom. Like no one can see. No one can ever see that light. They need to fix that.
There's epic lights going on.
Right. It just is it too it's too complicated?
I tried and then I started getting really aggressive.
Yeah.
You got this is where you do it slow. You gotta be like,
Yeah. There we go. There we go. So consistent.
This lives
Yeah,
on the
you can do it.
internet.
Stay in the pocket.
You a-hole.
Just stay in the pocket. That's all. What's up? You know what it is. It's the MasterChef After Show. We cooking it up in the studio. I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves, and super excited to be back. We're sorry that we missed you last week, but you know, we're back and we're gonna cover 2 episodes and we're gonna make up for it. You know how we do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited because we do have a new host joining us by the name of Carlina Will. What's up, Carlina?
Carlina. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
And glad you're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, she can cook.
I can.
Even though this space right here that you may or may not see is bare.
It's a little empty.
She but we're going to give her a pass because it's her first day.
Yeah.
But next week, we're going to have some food from Carlina.
Did I hear something about a full Christmas dinner,
something to that effect.
I thought that's what she said.
I thought I heard that too. We'll find that out.
I
and
need
of
to
course,
get my hearing checked.
yeah. Of course, I got my girl Ashley CHaney in the building.
Hi, friends. It's good to see you. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is doing.
Hungry.
It is Thursday
Hungry.
night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to cover a lot. So let's get right into it. So again, 2 episodes. First one, the kids are all right, and that is because we had kid judges, which was pretty cool because they really set it up. I love how they get all dramatic. They're like, yeah, so it's the most judges in the world, and you know, these are serious judges, and be careful of who's judging you. And then like these kids come scrolling in, blah, 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 blah. I was waiting for like the Christmas music. What do you guys think of the first episode, them having to cook what they did and had to reinvent their dishes a little bit because they were more adult friendly and to make them kid friendly? Do you think they were successful?
Well, I will tell you this right off the bat. Kids usually truly are the toughest critics. You can probably speak to this as a chef because they hold nothing back, as we saw. There's no filter. There is no, oh, I like it. It's all just straight up, this is nasty, or this is, give me more. So I agree the kids are the toughest critics, and I would not want to cook for them.
What do you think, Carlina?
Oh my goodness. They are the toughest critics, but also I feel like one team did really well, adapting to kids, whereas the other team didn't, and the kids obviously noticed. But you have to realize kids nowadays, compared to like when I grew up, like they know their food.
Yes.
Like they're very in tune with the different types of flavors and what they like and presentation. So these chefs, they did have tough critics.
They did. I thought it was interesting because when you saw the kids like talking amongst themselves, they look like little miniature adults, and they were like, so this one is kind of a little rare for me. Like I really go mid rare to medium. Like I'm like, how do you eat? Like you could eat steak like that?
You can eat steak, or your parents let you
That's what I'm
let
saying.
you order the steak? I would never be allowed to order a steak at a restaurant.
What's funny is I have a coworker who she has young children, and when they go out, they're little adults. She has a 5-year-old who loves steak, and they'll go to a steakhouse and she'll order her own steak, no kids menu type, real steak, potatoes, the whole thing. So I was thinking about her the whole time. I thought that was dope. But yeah, I agree. The palates of these children nowadays are sophisticated. I want to talk about Mark a little bit because,
Mark.
I don't like him. I'm just. I've always had an issue with Mark.
He cries one time.
Well, because he cried, and I'm like, bro. And it wasn't because he cried, because there's other people that cried, but it was because he tried to be this bad, I'm just cook and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna kill it and da 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 da. And then he gets that critique, and I'm just like, see, that's what you get, young buck.
Did you know that he's coming on our show next week? Are you ready to talk? No, I'm just kidding.
Bring it on, Mark.
I hate him. He's on
come
next
on,
week,
let's go.
He is young though. He was one of the youngest competitors, so you have to give him that. So his maturity level is a little bit less than the older adults. But his skills aren't bad for 19. You do have to give him that as well. I mean, this episode, he didn't do well. But, like, you know.
I get it. And I feel like there's a pattern in MasterChef because they do get, you know, they always have like a young person, either 19 or 20, at least one or two in the fold of the cast. And I feel like they tend to be the most cocky. And I can't remember his name off top, but there was a gentleman a few seasons ago. He was 20 years old, super cocky, like a college student, and just like hardly took a breath already. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, I'm the best here, and da-da-da-da. And, you know, he didn't last. And I feel like Mark is in that same bucket. And my thing is, yes, he's young, he's immature, but I would think that would more so cause you to be like, okay, let me listen. Let me, like, if they're giving me critiques, let me honor what they're saying as critiques because I'm young. I don't know everything. But he felt like it was the opposite for him. He felt like he knew everything. Like when he's doing the Béarnaise sauce. And I mean, Béarnaise sauce, it's first time I'm even hearing of that term. But I know.
Lem's a gourmand, everybody.
Right. But when you have all the judges, like individually telling you, like, why are you cooking it like that? Use the double boiler, all of that kind of stuff. And you continue to be like, this is how I do it at home. And so that's how I'm going to do it. And,
yeah, but T.O. for a second, because that's worked out for him in the past. 2 episodes back when they had to make the souffle. Or if you remember this.
Yes.
Mark was up there and everybody's like, what are you doing? Because he put his souffle back in the oven.
Right.
Just against all advice to do otherwise, and his souffle was one of the top 3.
But
I think he's like thinking that he can get away with, he has like a God complex a little bit because it's worked out for him sometimes.
I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
I feel like
Thank you.
I feel like though he was very lucky because traditionally, and that's what they were explaining, you don't do that.
No.
Right? I know that. And so
it can drop.
Exactly. And so because he did it and it was successful, I think that was just luck. He just lucked out that particular time.
That particular time, I know. But I think that maybe I can see how he would think like, okay, well, I'll get lucky again, or I'll show them, or this is going to work out in my favor. And like, I'm always, first of all, I'm always defending Mark because you hate him. And I love an underdog. But also, sometimes I think that those risks in the kitchen, you got to take them for them to pay off. So, I don't know.
So you think it was risky what he was doing?
I don't think I don't mean a risk. I mean going against what especially when everybody's like, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Hello, I brought in orange mashed potatoes to show you fools that like not just because everybody's telling you not to do it doesn't mean you should.
But it wasn't. Okay, you can't use that as an example because I'm saying because it wasn't like that good. It wasn't like I ate them and my life was changed. It was altered and I was on a new path in my journey of existence. That's what I'm saying. Like
you don't have to.
You really don't. But that's what I'm saying. If it's again, yes, he could have done and did it work out this time? Absolutely not. And most of the time, if experts are telling you, Carlina, please shed light. If someone is an expert and they are telling you how to do something, even though you've done it in 19 years, like your way of doing it, wouldn't you at least take note of what they're saying?
Absolutely. He came on MasterChef to learn from his mentor. So the fact that he pretty much like disregarded anything that Joe said showed that he wasn't really there to learn and become the best chef possible. Everybody knows with a bolognese sauce, everybody in the culinary world, you cannot do it on an open flame. That's serving raw eggs. People can get salmonella and get really, really sick.
Boom.
Thank you. Like, he should know better. And he's been in the kitchen. He grew up in the kitchen. So I was really disappointed in you, Mark. You should have known better.
Disappointed in Mark. That's right. So was I. We were all disappointed except Ashley.
I'm not disappointed. You do you, Mark.
Whatever.
You take those risks.
He's going to do him at home because moving right along. So we did see also Julia arguing with Shanika, which I was kind of liking. I mean, Julia's kind of feeling herself. Now, rightfully so. She's done well. She's done well. I feel like she, as opposed to someone like Mark, I feel like she's been a captain, so she's done this. Her team has won. She's now won the captain space again because of her cooking. So I feel like on all cylinders, she's doing well. However, I did not agree with the whole smiley face thing.
That was so
on
childish.
the page. And the fact that, and I think it was because it came from Shanika. I think I think if anyone else would have said like, yo, I don't think this is a good idea, but she would have been like, oh, maybe you're right. But because it was Shanika, and we know how everyone feels about Shanika, because she speaks her mind or whatever, she was like, "Oh no," and they were going back. She was like, "Have you been on a winning team? Excuse me, yeah, I don't. You know what you're talking about." Shanika was like, "Oh, okay, girl." So exactly. So, but right after that, we see Chef Ramsay like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, this is childish. You're not feeding it to like little children. Like, take that off." And then she's like, "Take it off." And I knew Shanika was just like, "Yeah, I tried to tell you." So I don't know. I mean, I feel like no one at this level yet. I mean, we're down now after this second episode that we're covering. We're down to the 12. So we're like half are gone. But I still feel like until you get to the top, you shouldn't really be feeling yourself at this level. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Shanika I've trusted many, many things. She has proven herself, and so has Julia. But I think that I really, truly believe that they are getting a little bit pumped by the producers with kind of, I always believe this, and everybody maybe tells me that it's not happening, but I think the producers kind of might be pushing them to infuse some drama in some of these situations. Okay. Yeah, like that's just my thought. I think this also actually have the monologues too, like because. Well, I digress. I'm not going to go into. I'm like, when I see Mark in the kitchen, I don't see him being like this super puffy, inflated ego. But then, if we go back to the sauce situation, I guess he is kind of acting.
I mean, this is a television show, so I think there are some things that happen and producers are involved in what happens. I mean, we know that by covering this and working in the industry. But I think Shanika is Shanika. Like, I think she's who she is. We had her on the show. I think she speaks her mind, and that's just what it is. And I think in this particular time, she was right.
I think she's been right in like almost every time she's spoken up. It's just that people don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Because they're defensive.
Exactly. And it's her delivery. Like, she's not very nice about it.
She doesn't have to be.
Right. No, I'm not saying she should. I'm not saying she should, but you know, people be in their feelings and stuff. So yeah.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
So I feel like a lot of chefs make this mistake when they're serving kids with doing smiley faces or little cute, you know, turning caterpillars. Have you seen that where they turn celery into like caterpillars? You know, like certain things like. It's cute and fun, but kids, that's like when I was a kid. Kids now want like the exquisite meals.
Right.
So the way to target kids, I'm going to give you guys a secret for any of you who want to be on MasterChef next season, I don't know, is you want to play with your colors on your food. Kids love colors. So if you have like, you know, your steak, you're going to want to have something green. So it can be like green bell peppers or something fun or celery. And then you're going to want to have some reds and some oranges. So you want the plate to be colorful. That's how you attract kids. Smiley faces do not work. I don't know what Julia was thinking.
Interesting.
She wasn't, I don't think. But she was definitely feeling like she was right.
She was.
And she wasn't. And the thing is, like, have one, maybe. She had like 3 on each plate. It's like, come on.
Not even one. This isn't, you know.
No, I'm just saying I would even see if it was one. But she literally had 3 smiley faces on the plate, smiley faces on the plate. And I'm just like, stop it.
Meanwhile, I would be like, yeah.
Hey, so smiley face, give it. Right. So we do see the kids deliberate, which we were talking about earlier, and they were just really talking very adult and grown, which I enjoyed. So the red team ends up edging out, and it wasn't a huge margin, 66%. So they win of the vote, which is Shanika's team and Julia's team. So I thought that was interesting that they were the ones that won, given that they had, you know, the friction. And they also got to be in their Dish in Family Circle magazine. And of course, the team that lost, they immediately blame Mark. Mark is the target, which, again, I think if a sauce would have been on that plate, because I'm looking at the plate, you know, when they're serving it, especially you're serving it with kids. I know as a kid, like, sauce was the jam. Like, that was, I want, like, gravy on everything. I want ketchup. I want all these condiments, like, probably more so not good for me, but I want my stuff saucy. And so if I got this steak, which steak is going to be good, but there's nothing to drudge anything in, nothing to, like, swirl around. Like, that's why they lost. And I'm looking at the plate again, and that was Mark's. Your boy Mark. With his little nasty technique, didn't work.
Come at me. I like the guy.
Just saying. So, because he had to exit. And so, again, that's the reason why they failed. So, we do see that, it comes down to Now they're in the pressure test, right? And so we see good old Christina comes back. Christina Tosi,
Christina Tossi.
queen of the cakes. She was a judge on several seasons of MasterChef. She comes for the pressure test, and they have to make what? Cupcakes. How are you versed in cupcakes,
Yes.
Carlina?
Oh,
Please.
I am really good. I started baking when I was 7.
Okay.
So I'm really, really good at cupcakes. And I will definitely say baking is really hard when you're pressured with time. So the fact that not only they had to bake, I think they were given 45 minutes to bake and, prep and do their frosting and put it into the container. That's a lot of pressure. But,
obviously several people shined, Samantha and Emily.
Emily's my girl.
And those were not easy. I believe Emily did a chocolate cupcake stuffed with caramel and, chai buttercream.
Yes.
You know how hard it is to whip buttercream?
It's difficult. I don't know.
Difficult. No, you don't.
He doesn't know. I know.
It's super difficult. The fact that she was able to pull it off in 45 minutes and then, also do, I think it was a lemon cupcake meringue frosting and be able to fire it up.
Emily makes her own sausage. She can do anything.
Fantastic. That is hard. I don't know if people understand the complexity in that, but it's very hard. And, to get a cupcake right, make sure it's not burnt at the bottom. And because, some people, their edges are a little burnt when they make them. So to make an actual perfect cupcake, it takes skill. And if you guys have pictures, send them to me and I'll let you know.
Word. Who of the people that you saw, their cupcakes, who do you think had the best? I mean, obviously you could taste them, but who do you think had the best looking cupcakes?
The best looking for sure was Samantha.
Samantha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that cupcake just looked fun, right? You can have it at any party, a kid's party. It goes with any occasion.
Sure.
But Emily's would be a good office party cupcake or New Year's. But just an all around, I think a good cupcake is one that can go with any occasion. And Samantha did great.
I love the thought that you put into that answer. It was a good office party cupcake. Now there's some home cupcakes. Everybody's got a different type of cupcake.
Right.
I want to see some office party cupcakes.
Right. Exactly.
I love
Some
that.
AfterBuzz cupcakes.
AfterBuzz
I don't know what those look like. Yeah.
I would like to know what they look like too.
Right, exactly. Right there. And there. Samantha was the one that used the recipe that she would bake with her sorority sisters. So I thought that was interesting. She's only 20 years old. Yeah. That's crazy that she killed it. It looked amazing, that cupcake that she made. Bowen did a good job as well. Emily did 2 different types, which was, which was great. Gets praised for that. My boy Jerome, he made some flat bourbon pancake cupcakes. They didn't look too good. They didn't. I was excited for him because, he's from Kentucky and he's like, oh, that's the bourbon state. I'm going to make bourbon cupcakes. And I'm like, all right, cool. Because I love rum cake. I think rum cake's amazing.
He keeps all of us on edge because we're like, he's going to come through. He's going to come through with some soul food.
Yeah,
He's going to come through some Kentucky.
Yeah. And then, so they didn't look good. Said they were starchy and underbaked.
Yes.
Caesar gets good feedback. SJ does good as well. And then your boy Mark.
Listen,
Didn't even get 12, yo. He didn't even get 12 cupcakes in the box.
As the chef on the panel, I'm going to pass this comment off to Ashley to let us know what she thought of Mark's cupcakes.
oh, you guys. Mark is. I'm not defending Mark's for their atrocity. First of all, I can say nothing else besides they were an atrocity. But obviously, I won't spoiler alert it. I'll let you get there. But we know what happens.
Right.
And I just want to say for the record, I'm rooting for him because he's an underdog and because everybody hates him. I agree that he's shown some pretty terrible behavior in the kitchen, but I will always support an entrepreneurial spirit. But them things was struggling.
Yeah, super struggling. I mean, even seeing him put it in, the filling, the strawberry filling. And again, it goes back to, I feel like they were telling him, at least we heard them, right? And I felt like he heard them too when they were talking about the strawberries. And the strawberries being, a lot of water content. And that's going to hurt your cupcakes. And I feel like he didn't care. He was going to he said the recipe came from his mother, a drink at his mom's restaurant. So, I mean, it sounded good. But the execution was terrible. And if this is something that you haven't done, then why wouldn't you stick to simple or something that, he just does too much. And I'm glad that he went home. That's all I'm going to say. He's gone. We don't have to see him whimpering anymore. We don't have to see Ashley defending him anymore. That brother is gone.
Yeah.
And he deserved to go.
It was his time. It
was definitely his time.
It was his time.
I will make a comment. First of all, everybody knows if you're on MasterChef, you cannot not go up to the table without finishing the challenge. His box wasn't even completely full, and I think that just sent Gordon over the edge.
Absolutely.
Like, you, at least, you know, if he would have came and had all his 12 cupcakes, at least if they taste nasty, he's like, all right, he finished the challenge.
Right.
He didn't even finish, and the ones he did finish were soggy. You cannot do, you know, strawberry filling with that much water in it. If you're going to do a strawberry filling, it needs to be thick. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even let his cupcakes cool. But, okay, how to do a strawberry filling is your cupcakes, you're going to let it cool. Then you can put it in the fridge or let it cool overnight, whatever. But when it's so hot and you put something that runny in there, it is going to soak up and actually be a sponge.
Right.
So you need it to be cold and hard before you put any filling in there. And Mark, again, you grew up in a restaurant, so I don't feel bad that you were eliminated.
Boom. Just like that, son. Carlina told you.
Sorry, Mark.
He told you. So yeah, he's out of there. But yeah, I was like, if he don't go like on this one, I'm like, stop it, because Jerron, I mean, it was between them two.
I don't know though, because yeah, he was.
It was between the two, but I feel like if Mark maybe could have had 12 cupcakes, I think it would have been a fairer fight as far as who went home, because they were both like not that great.
Yeah.
So then it would have came down to more particulars. But the fact that he didn't do good and he had only 7 cupcakes, he was missing 5, almost half of the cupcakes. I felt like that was it. You gotta roll up out of here, homie.
Exactly.
So he's gone. So then we go into the next episode, dealing with everything fried, which is pretty good. But before we get into that, Ashley CHaney has something to talk about.
That is right, my little AfterBuzzers. Our network, as you guys know, produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV shows, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder than we do to serve television fans. But we need your help. We are asking that you please subscribe to one or more, we have a couple, of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, you will help YouTube suggest content that's tailor-made for you, that you want to see, and it'll deliver it right to your inbox. And you'll also help us grow. If you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be. They're totally optional. So hit that subscribe button, wherever it is on your computer. Hit it right now. Right now, we're waiting. Do it. And let us know that you did so, and we might give you a shout out on air because we love you so much. And so for now, thanks so much for being the best fans out there and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk. We love you.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, make sure you subscribe, please. We want all the subscriptions, and rate us 5 stars. Because 4 don't matter, so
That's right.
only 5. So mystery box challenge for the next episode. The star of the dish, they pull it up and it's oil, and so we find out that everything has to be deep fried. Which I was like, yeah, I'm interested in. I don't eat a whole lot of fried food anymore, but you know, when it's time to indulge, yes, I definitely am down for that.
I was hopeful that when they lifted that box that it would just get to be oil, and like you could use the oil in
Like however you want
however
it.
you want it. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get to see some oil cakes or like some, you know, some bread plates with oil. Anyway,
No.
a girl can dream.
Oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would be like. Here you go, I cooked you some
Like just put oil in there
olive oil,
with some, yeah,
Enjoy.
balsamic vinegar,
Did you
and then
actually
like,
do that? I want to see Gordon's reaction.
yeah, that you wouldn't last
I
long.
thought Joe was putting together a little
If you did
charcuterie
that, you
board.
would, yeah, no, I don't think that you would last long. So what was cool about this also is that the judges cooked alongside them. Yo, what they made, let me tell you something. That blessed my heart. Chef Ramsay, like I want to find that somewhere.
I've never had that dish.
I've never heard of that dish.
It's a Gordon special.
That is super. Have you ever had that before?
That dish that we're talking about is a fried squash blossom.
Yes.
Stuffed squash
No,
blossom.
I have not had that, but I've had like tempura, like fried shrimp and that stuff, but
Right,
not
right.
the squash. Like that looked beautiful.
With the crab inside?
Yes.
I love crab.
Yes.
So I'm thinking like deep fried squash blossoms with the crab inside and the.
Don't forget the fancy caviar.
Yes.
But I do not do caviar. That would set me over the edge.
Really?
I don't like it.
I like a little bit of it. It is salty, but I do like.
It is.
A little bit of it, like if I'm eating Japanese food and I'm having sushi, and sometimes they'll put little,
but
it's bomb right
Chef
there.
Ramsay probably knows how to pair.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know it's going to be bomb.
He did sweet and salty.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys noticed that because he had, the Granny Smith apples along with the caviar and the crab. So just that combined in your mouth, he literally hit every single taste bud.
Dude, the umami and yes.
Yeah.
Umami.
Yes, all of that. And then also Aron's dish, I love oysters. I love deep fried oysters.
I'm not an oyster fan.
Really?
No.
I'll eat them raw. I'll eat them fried. I'll eat them
Look at that.
Air high five.
out of the ocean.
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you on that. I'm not going to make that noise, but I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
On this episode of an ASMR episode.
Right. But yeah, with the taco and the fried oysters and the jicama, oh man, that looks so... I wanted to eat over there. Like, it was really good.
I felt bad when they all had to like split the plate and there's like 12 of them eating
exactly.
like a little. I'm like,
I was wondering, I was like, are they going to take, because they came up, and I'm like, are they going to taste? I'm like, they're going to get one bite of everything.
Maybe.
That's it, if that. With
Let's hope that they actually cooked extra and that's what we didn't see.
No, they didn't.
The uglies that
No,
weren't
they had the same amount of time as everybody else, so they didn't have time to make extra.
Oh, they got a bite. But it was good. It looked good, and they obviously didn't have any complaints. So I love Joe too, also being super extra. It's like,
Super
can you get me that over there? She's just laid out drinking wine. Like, can you can you bring me over the squash, please? He was being super extra. And then
Efficient, though.
Efficient, if you want to call it that. He was having someone work for him. I thought it was interesting too that of everyone, I mean, again, editing, right? But SJ went and while he was cooking, went to talk to all the judges to find out what they were cooking. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know if he was trying to get information or just being inquisitive. I know if I'm trying to cook something, I'm like, I got to be focused on that. So, I mean...
That was another moment.
thought it was interesting.
I felt like I could hear the producers for that moment.
Really?
Yeah.
I did. I felt like it was like the producers being like, somebody's got to ask them what they're doing while they're cooking. So because normally they're the ones walking around helping to like basically drive the story forward.
True.
So it didn't feel as natural to me. If I felt like I could see the producing happening. I felt like I could hear it.
Hear
Them
that
saying like,
happening.
why don't somebody go ask them what's up? And
Okay. Word.
didn't seem to hurt him though.
It didn't hurt him at all. I mean, he didn't get top 3, but he wasn't, the low man. So we see that they actually do pick a top 3. And so first person picked is Shanika. Good old Shanika. Yeah. So she makes a, which also sounded pretty interesting, a pancetta and apple risotto cake. I've had risotto. I haven't had it in a cake, though. Have you made risotto in a cake or had it?
Not in a cake,
And
man.
not in a cake?
I think that's why it was so impressive because she like fried it, you know what I mean? And like put it in the cake and then refried it. So
Right.
that was very impressive because risotto takes time.
Yes.
So I'm just impressed, Shanika. I'm very impressed with your dish. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. She put it down.
Risotto's like super rich, and
Yep.
then you
Yes.
fry it.
Right.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, she took it to the
Serious.
next level. And in what, 45 minutes?
Yeah. No, she
Girl.
held it down. She did that. We see Ralph is next. He makes fried chicken adobo, which I've had chicken adobo. I grew up with a lot of Filipino around me in Northern California. But I've never had the fried chicken adobo.
Neither have I. And I dated a Filipino for 7 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And I don't think it's something that you would do normally, but the fact that he was like, okay, I'm going to take this, food of my culture, and I'm going to fry it and see how it works. And it obviously worked. It was well received. So obviously he making into the top spot.
But the pairing, I think that actually really got the judges fired up was that he paired it with coconut curry rice.
So
those
using the
two,
coconut.
Yeah, combos in your mouth, like literally mind
Gotcha.
blown.
That
So I
worked.
think that's what it was. If he would have paired the adobo with something else, it probably might not have worked and he probably would have been in the middle. But the fact that he took a classic dish, fried it, and then added that curry coconut rice was just
Word.
it's new levels for Ralph. Impressed.
Yeah, he did good. And then we see Chelsea did and I was glad you're here because I've never heard of this dish, the goat cheese arancini.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard of arancini.
You would like it.
It is.
It's like
What is it?
It's like a fried rice ball. Basically.
Okay, that's what it looked like.
Right, so you speak to the culinary from my non-culinary perspective.
No,
I'm like,
you're doing
that's
good.
a
You're
fried
doing
rice
good.
ball.
You're
And
doing
it's good and unhealthy.
Good.
Cheesy, unhealthy. Yeah, delicious.
What would you compare it to? Like
Similar to I would compare it similar to risotto. It has a similar texture to risotto.
to it. Okay.
In that ball form. I mean, like if we're breaking up the ball on the inside, to me it has a risotto texture.
Texture to it. You would agree
Yep.
to that? Okay.
She did really well. I'm
Yeah.
Oh, thank
okay.
you.
And she had the goat cheese in there, which with goat cheese, I'm not too familiar with goat cheese. I know it's used in like more savory dishes than sweet stuff, but what I mean that's as far as I know. What how would you compare goat cheese to like mozzarella or cheddar cheese, like as far as the consistency or taste or flavor?
It's a lot thicker, so
Okay.
I definitely think this is harder with this dish to fry without making it get too chunky. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So the fact that they bit into it and it's still kind of smooth.
It was good.
Yep.
Word. So of the three, guess who wins? Shanika gets the top spot, and I was like, yes, because I know it's going to be crazy. I know it's going to be crazy because I mean, she's been the person that people have liked to hate.
People love to hate.
Yeah, they love to hate her, and so it comes down to the elimination challenge, and we see
She's out for blood.
Yo, I was like, please give her an advantage. Please give her an advantage where she can make people do stuff. And so, sure enough, they did not disappoint. First of all, the elimination challenge was citrus fruit. That was the theme. So everything that made had to be made of citrus fruit. And Shanika, of course, she didn't have to cook. She was safe. But she got to choose if someone made a savory dish or a sweet dish. So I love how they... They looked like when they was like lined up. They looked like they were at like some like food bank or something. And she's
Please, sir.
please, can I I want sweets today? And then
my God.
yeah, and then she's like, no, you get savory, like a little goblin, like fairy tale, like little nasty movies or something.
But it felt so good to see her get that moment.
Yes,
It
yes,
she needed
She
it.
reminded me of like the sorting hat from Harry Potter.
Yeah, yep.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's all about the fairy tales. When the long ponytail, boom. Yes, all of that. Yeah, so I love how she was given, and then who's the first person where they're like, please give me this, and she says no, and it's like, that's what I wanted.
Jerome.
Yeah, okay. He's like, this is what I was hoping, and then the next person did it, and then she was like, no, that's not what I wanted. But yeah, she did a good job. I felt like she basically, and she even said this, when they were doing her one-on-one, she said, I've paid attention.
Yes.
I paid attention what people's strengths are, weaknesses are. Excuse me. And so having that, to my advantage, I definitely played that well. And I think she did.
She's a competitor.
She
She
did.
said it from the very beginning. She's not there to
Absolutely.
make friends.
Absolutely.
I don't think she's made too many.
Yeah. I love to, no, like zero, actually.
No, she said she's friends with Bowen. She likes little bow bow.
Little bow bow. Yeah, I guess. I think it's more of a respect thing.
Yeah.
She respects that he can cook well.
I don't think they're hanging out.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. So I also, one thing I noticed was her faces, like when they would cut, like her face, and they would be making something or they present it, and she'd be like, that ain't the thing. That was good. That was good camera. That was good. I love that she was doing, and she also was like in people's business, like a lot,
you doing
like
down there?
right, exactly. Like Chef Ramsay would be like, so yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. That's not good. That doesn't look good at all.
Shanika.
She was doing it. So everyone makes their dishes, and though everyone brings them up, and so we see my boy Jerome. Okay. So let me tell you something. I'm like. At first, I was like, he's going to go. Like, I didn't think he was going to last because I felt like he was always on the, like, cusp of, like, going home all the time.
He still has yet to make a wow dish.
And that
except
too.
From his very, very first dish that he ever made.
Yes.
And that's it. I'm like, have you been skirting by on, like, one dish this whole
I think he has. And because, I have, like, so many contestants. So if you do really, really bad, you're going to be the one to go home. So if you're, like, right in the middle or right there, and I feel like he's just been skating by. And so this particular time I was like, okay, but now I feel like I want to root for him, you know, like he's from Kentucky. He's like, you know, yeah, I'm trying to just do my thing. And like, I feel like his story, like as far as like when he talks about why he's making what he's making, I like why he's making it. So I'm starting to feel he's pulling my heartstrings. And ding, cue the violin music. Ding, ding. So I feel like I want to root for him now. I still don't know how far he's going to get. But I'm Team Jerron now. I'm just saying.
I've always liked Jerron. I like his personality. I really like him. I keep waiting for him to pull out some soul food that's gonna wow me or something, and it hasn't come yet.
Hasn't happened.
I like the dude though. He's cool.
Do you have a favorite, Carlina, right now?
A favorite contestant?
Favorite contestant, yes.
I would definitely say right now, I know a lot of people don't like her, but I love Emily.
Oh, you're Emily's #1 fan right over here since day one.
Okay, cool. Emily's
Since day
super
one.
talented. Like, she is the definition of MasterChef. She can kill it in savory. She can kill it in sweet. But, like, somebody who I want to be best friends with is probably Ashley.
Ashley.
We had her on our last show, and
Yes.
she's a cool girl. I like her too.
Oh, Ashley, let's be friends. Hit me up.
Ashley, friends, you know, she's in Florida.
She might be watching. She watches sometimes.
She
She's
does. She does. So we see Jerome. Speaking of Jerome, he did the citrus jerk chicken, which was okay. He didn't really get, just didn't wow them again, but it was okay. It was just basic. Ralph. So he killed it last episode, right? The episode prior to that, killed it. Did really well. He does this, and also I'm glad you're here because something else I'm not familiar with, Brasso de Mercedes.
gosh.
Have you had this before?
No, I haven't, and I don't know too much about that dish.
I've had Brasso de Cadillac, but just not Brasso de Mercedes.
But I could see why he got in
Joking.
trouble because
Because how's
I'm super joking.
I know you're joking. I'm just going. It shouldn't definitely be doughy. I do know that.
Okay.
So for him getting, and the fact that he's trying to go with a meringue, like how do you get a meringue wrong? How long has he been on MasterChef? Like how many weeks?
been a
lot of
minute.
weeks.
How do you get a meringue?
How do you get a meringue wrong? But at least, I think they said that. Like at least if he would have
Professional,
gotten
yeah.
like, okay, they were like, okay, it's a little doughy, but I think what really, upset them was that the meringue was wrong. That's what really was just like, come on.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that dish I don't know too much about, but I will find out. But I definitely know it can't not be doughy.
Okay. And he obviously had sweet, so that definitely tripped him up.
Yes.
Because that's not his strong suit. Ashley's
he's making
namesake, Ashley, did the lemon layer cake. And she was pretty nervous.
Yeah.
She was very nervous. Like, she just was like, and it was a whole cake, like legit whole cake.
But see what I mean? We
3
talked about
layers.
this.
What?
She's the baking queen.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I think of her, I think of baking, and she hates that. But I think of her as baking. She's done amazing every time she bakes something.
I'm wondering, that being said, why, if, we saw Shanika trying to trip people up, why she didn't give her savory?
I don't know. I don't know
They're
where she's at.
friends. I've seen them hang out on Instagram.
Actually, and we
Boom,
talked about
part,
that.
That part.
There you
Shanika
go.
and
Okay.
Ashley. They're both Florida, remember? They're both Miami.
I remember that, but
friends.
we asked if they kick it, and they were like, like she was
Whatever.
dancing around. Well, Shanika was. I mean, you interviewed. I wasn't here for.
Oh, you
Ashley's
weren't here.
interview,
Okay, yeah.
right.
No. Ashley, Ashley likes Shanika. I think they just don't. I think they just have busy lives. I
Gotcha.
don't get the feeling that there's bad blood.
Got it.
So maybe that played into it because I would for sure think that she could nail baking.
Yeah, she
Okay.
can.
Okay. Well, there it is, and she did, and they actually said it was her best performance.
It was fantastic.
Which was
3-layer
a-
cake in
yeah.
45 minutes.
Right.
Is
And
she
it-
crazy? I think Gordon asked her if she was crazy.
She did. He did.
And she said she was.
She
and,
did say she was.
and she killed it. And I'm glad she was crazy because she probably did the best out of everybody.
My favorite shot was from the earlier challenge where she's running out with all the groceries. She's like, I'm a grocery shopper. I'm
Well, that's
"That
like
is
her job,
exactly
right?
what
Yeah,
I look like."
literally. It's her job,
That's her
which is
position.
crazy.
That's hilarious. So then we go on to Caesar, who did the lemon chiffon cake.
Oh, my God.
So we went from good cake to terrible cake.
Both
terrible.
lemon.
Diner cake. Let's get it right.
Well, okay. It was just bad. It was bad. It looked like it was a piece of a cake, first of all. It didn't look like the whole cake. It looked like he took a piece and was like, oh, this cake is terrible. This I fell on the floor. Here's what's left. Boom. And squared it off. That's what it looked like. It looked like somebody made it, a little kid, one of them judges, made it in an easy bake oven. It really looked really bad.
You are so bad for that.
I'm just saying.
But do you guys ever notice, every time Caesar's like, I'm very proud of this dish, I'm never disappointed, it's always the dish that they're like, this is awful.
that they hate.
Yeah. Like, I think, Caesar, stop saying that, please.
Well, maybe he's like, I am screwed, and I need to like make this look better.
Make it look better.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm really proud of this. It's awesome. You just don't know how awesome it is. Let me tell you when you
Right.
taste it how awesome it is.
And he failed the challenge. They couldn't taste any citrus.
Right. He also is one, kind of like Ashley, this particular episode, that looks nervous when he presents his stuff. Like, he never looks sure of himself at all. I don't know if it's his look or whatever, but he just always looks unsure every time he goes up there. So
He's nervous.
yeah, in this case, he was right to be nervous because it was terrible. Samantha made the lime marinated steak, which, was all right. No bad things there. Emily did the chili lime shrimp. It's like a lot of people worked with lime or lemon. And
Because what other citrus is there really to do?
well, orange.
Yeah, but orange.
Well, Caesar also tried to do grapefruit, but that didn't work.
Oh yeah, that would be tough. I'm like, what are you gonna do with grapefruit?
Grill it? I don't know.
Yeah, like in a dish though, like that seemed like that would be difficult. Would you say, as the consummate expert on the panel, that lemon and lime is probably the easiest citrus fruit to work with in a dish?
For me, yes. For other people, no. I would
Okay.
say the easiest for other people to work with is lemon because it's a little bit sweeter than lime. Lime is a little bit more tart. So people
Okay.
don't really take that into consideration, and you just taste it and it's like that. You shouldn't have to do that when you're
Gotcha.
cooking. So I would say for like a beginning chef, always go with lemon. Lime is a little bit harder. I think that's why Emily got like credit on her lime shrimp.
Because it's more difficult.
I've heard that it's harder to taste the flavor, though, of lime unless you use, like, the key lime. Like, if you use a straight-up lime, it doesn't really taste as much as limey as if you use a key lime.
Limey, is that a
Limey.
term?
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
in the
not
chef
a-
school.
It's not.
I learned that from
It's
chef
not a
school.
term. It's depending. You have to use lime right. So definitely, I would say with seafood is where lime works best. Or
Seafood,
like when you're
okay.
topping something, that's when you
Yeah.
just squeeze the lime. But if you're cooking it into something, you will miss it.
Gotcha.
Because Whereas lemon, you can.
But
like
what
you'll
about, like, a
taste
key
it.
lime pie? Doesn't that get baked? I guess that's key
Who are
lime.
the people who do the artificial stuff? Maybe.
Oh, there's artificial.
Shade.
Shade on the key lime. Whoa. Moving on.
I am never baking anything.
Right. That was
Ever.
hatred, boy. Like, for the people that don't know what they're doing, they can do that. Yeah. So Taylor made the ricotta stuffed ravioli.
Carlina, we should let you know that Lem has a big old crushy crush on Taylor.
Don't make it extra.
Oh,
Stop.
look, are you blushing?
Stop making
You're
it-
in love with
stop
her?
making it
There goes. Yeah, he messaged her. He's like really excited.
Do not lie on me like that. I did not message anybody. I did not message
Did I
anybody.
mistake? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna go easy on her,
Doing
Lem.
too much, doing
Just
too
because
much.
you have a crush, she still gets. the
First
same
of all,
everybody
I
else.
think she's a great chef.
It's a damn
I
lie.
think she does well in the competitions. That's what it is. Like, don't hate. Anyway,
Listen, okay, let's
she
talk about it.
made a beautiful and amazing ricotta stuffed ravioli.
Emphasis on the beautiful. Huh?
Yes, absolutely. Ricotta is really good in ravioli. I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Ricotta, come on, man. That's like every pasta dish.
Yeah.
It's like lasagna. You ever had lasagna?
Of course.
it's not unique, but she did really great with it.
She did good.
Yeah.
My thing is, where was I was trying to figure out where the citrus was in with her dish, because she didn't do bad. What citrus do we know? What citrus she used?
Yes, it was the lemon cream sauce that
Lemon.
went with the raviolis. So that's why they spoke a lot about the pop at the end.
Boom! I remember that. Boom! Pop.
You forgot all about the dish. She's like, Taylor made something. It was beautiful. I mean, it was good, but it was beautiful.
You know what? Whatever.
That's why I'm here, you guys. I'm here to be like that balance.
Yeah. So SJ did the Meyer lemon tort. Now I'm gonna tell you something. This looked like a pancake from like IHOP, and they don't even make pancakes anymore.
Don't hate on IHOP like
but remember
that.
when they had the like red, white, and blue, and they had like the stuff and the little nasty whipped cream with the. It
Nasty.
looked like I thought it looked like a pancake, like and it was a tort. And I was like, "What is this?" It looked super clunky. It just looked really bad, and apparently it didn't taste good either.
There was no citrus in it. He failed that challenge. The caramel was like...
Oh, yeah, the little...
that would send you to the dentist. I literally went to the dentist yesterday. That would have gotten me an extraction, a tooth extraction. Yes, that can cut up all your gums and everything. Usually if you do that, you'll put it like at the top. So like a slice of cheesecake, you see that?
Yes.
But it's meant to be taken off, not blended
into the
there.
dish.
Nobody can see that. SJ, have a seat.
Oh, yeah, several seats, sir. So, yeah, it did really bad. So, needless to say, SJ was on the bottom. Caesar was on the bottom. And Ralph was in the bottom. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Ralph was the one to go home.
Yeah.
Which I was very surprised because he did so well just the prior season.
No, he did so well. Just
the prior episode. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yes,
in the prior episode.
fried chicken adobo.
That's what I'm saying. So did really good.
It felt way too early for him. It really did. I think
SJ should have left. He was going to give everybody like awful teeth damage, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, his seemed to be the most, as far as like dishes go, his seemed to be the worst. Like you said, like it was dangerous. He made a dangerous dish.
Dangerous dishes.
He really made pancakes and called it a torte. Like it really looked like a kid like made it, a kid that didn't know what they were doing. So I don't know. I hate that Ralph is gone. Like I said, I mean, I like SJ too. I think he does talk a lot. Talks a lot. But it was, and then even, I don't know. I mean, I guess Caesar's been more consistent when it comes to like some of the challenges and stuff like that. So I could see maybe him, staying.
He's been in the bottom a couple of times though.
Caesar has?
Yeah.
But I feel like.
He has.
I guess so.
Because I don't remember SJ being in the bottom.
No.
I think you're right.
Caesar
But Caesar has been for sure.
Has Ralph been in the bottom? I don't remember.
I don't remember Ralph being in the bottom either.
Then Caesar should have gone home.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. It didn't feel like Ralph's time. I'll say that.
It did. They did not.
They're trying to get I think the producers are trying to get Caesar to the end.
You think so?
Yes.
Because he's the only one left on Aaron's team? No,
because
No,
he
they have
started
multiple
so
people.
strong. I think they would really love Emily, Caesar, and probably SJ in the
And that's probably what I'm thinking of because I'm like, he's been at the bottom because he started off really good.
Yeah.
And then started to take a turn.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to do well when they have the group challenges. I feel like he does better individually, normally.
So wait, sorry, Caesar or Aaron?
Caesar.
I mean,
Caesar.
Or SJ.
Aaron.
How does Aaron do?
Right.
I know, like what? Aaron is fantastic.
Right. But yeah, so Ralph is gone. Poor Ralph. I'm going to miss that. But he seemed to have a good attitude about it. And, we'll see. Like, he wants to open up a Filipino restaurant. So I definitely think that's something he can do.
Eat it.
I would eat it for sure.
Absolutely. So let's get into predictions. Let's do that. Boom, boom.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. So going forward, who do we think possibly of who is left? Now we have 12 chefs, right? So half the people are gone, right? Half the people started with 24, 12 are left. Who do we think could be next on the chopping block, based on what we've seen so far?
It's looking like Jerome for me. I hate to say it. I mean, he's a hot contender for me for the chopping block, which is sad because I want to root for him too. I feel you, but I think Jerome is in danger.
Okay.
Considering that their next challenge is filleting and halibut.
Right.
Samantha and Emily I think are going to really struggle. So I don't know if they'll be the one to leave, but they're definitely not going to make it and go into the elimination. I think this is actually where Jerome's going to do really well.
You'd hope so. I'd hope so.
But to actually go home, you know what? You've been in the bottom so much, and I would love to see you in the end because you're a fantastic chef. But if you don't step it up this episode, Caesar, you're going home. I will personally send you home.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that's serious. Okay, so we got to vote for Caesar for Jerome. Like I said, I'm rooting for Jerome now. I would say that, but I've been saying it, so I feel like I want to root for him. So I don't want him to go home. I would probably pick just based on the last challenge. I would say SJ. And like you said, they are butchering a halibut, so I don't see him necessarily doing that well in that. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, it's going to be more than that. I'm assuming they have to cook something. But we'll see how that works. But I think my vote for right now is SJ.
SJ.
Okay,
Yeah,
we all
so-
have 3 different ones. Let's see.
Right. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
For the record, Emily's gonna murder filleting that halibut. She can do no wrong.
I don't know if you saw the previews.
Okay. I mean, you know, they just want to get us.
They want to get our,
Exactly.
the old bait and switch.
Right.
That's a fish joke.
They do
She's
that.
known for baking.
Thank you.
You're so bad. The cheesiness.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But yeah, we'll be excited when we come back and talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that has been our show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure, again, you subscribe. Make sure you comment. You know, let us know what you think of Carlina, our new host, and her expert opinions that she's giving us. Also, let her know what you would like to see her bake
That's
or
right.
make or cook for next week, because it's going to be something, and I believe it's going to be delicious.
Cupcakes,
Because I have faith.
cupcakes.
Because I have faith. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves, and you can find me everywhere at The Poet Sing. That's at The Poet Sing. And you can also check my website, stayonthemic.com. Carlina, where are you at?
I'm at, guess what? It actually makes sense, at Cooking with Carlina. So you guys follow me there.
Very good. I think I do follow you. I drool over your pictures. If you guys want to talk to me after the show about what you're watching on Netflix or what you're eating, please do so at Ashley on Camera. I would love to hear all about it and keep this conversation going.
Yeah, and we will have a full panel. Frank will unfortunately be back. So, yeah.
So soon.
Yeah, so soon. I know, 2 weeks off. I mean, it's amazing. But yeah, he's got to come back. And then look for a special guest. That's all I'm going to say.
Dun, dun,
Special
dun.
guest, special guest, special guest. Until then, we'll see you. Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.